welcome to tonight's episode of Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, and as always, I have a very special guest for you, La-Shonda Rice, founder and CEO of Crochet Addict. She'll be with us for the next 30 minutes, so stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Beyond Focus TV allows you to discuss contemporary topics affecting the Caribbean people on both a national and local level. The show features informed guests who offer insight, debate, and evaluate various issues. Beyond Focus TV builds on the station's mission to provide useful information to the Caribbean people in New York and abroad. Beyond Focus TV, where our viewing audience can get educated, informed, and empowered. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. Like I said, I have a very special guest for you, La-Shonda Rice, who's with us tonight. She wears many hats and she's the founder and the creator of these beautiful crochet dolls, but we'll get into that in just a moment. But before we do all that, I want to kind of always, with my introduction question is always, who is the person? So who is La-Shonda Rice?
Hi, La-Shonda Rice is first a mom and a wife and the owner of the Crochet Addict, as you previously stated. I am a retired police officer as well as a veteran. So, and here I am with my crochet empire. I never thought that it would end this way. Well, not end, but
get started that way.
New chapter.
Absolutely. So that's an interesting transition. You never think law enforcement, military, and a love for dolls. How did that kind of, so is this something you always had in you?
Actually, no. Believe it or not, I started at 9, and someone taught me in school. It was a classmate. She taught me with a pencil. And over the weekend, I went to visit my grandmother, and she said, hey, that'll be easier if you had an actual hook. So go in my drawer, and that's when I found out she knew how to crochet. And she showed me a few stitches. I learned by eye, so I can actually look at something, and I can duplicate it and manipulate yarn. But initially, I did not know terminology.
Okay.
So I was self-taught, and the dolls came in actually 2010. 2010, I was having my first child, my son, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll do dolls, maybe I won't. I was just playing around with it. And then right before my daughter was born in 2012, when I was nesting and I said, oh, I gotta make a doll, I actually reached out to someone, and she had a 6-month waiting list. And I said, oh, no way. I want my doll like when she arrives.
Right.
So I said to myself, I know how to crochet. Let me try it out. The first one, only a designer could love. It was very irregular, and I just kept on practicing. I just said, let me just keep on doing it, and then thus gave birth to this company.
That is great. I'm sure you've told your daughter this story.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I told her she's my muse all the time. She's my muse in a lot of my work. She's a true inspiration, which, I definitely just made the doll just for her. I had no thought of creating for other children around the world or adults, because a lot of adults buy my dolls, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And she brought it to church one day, and everyone's like, where did you get that? They weren't paying attention to the sermon at all. I saw people just turning around, and I'm like, I know my daughter's cute, But it was so funny. After service, they were like, where did you get that? We have to buy that. I said, really? You really like it? I made it. And so, I just started saying to myself, maybe this could be something. Maybe I should make some more. Maybe I should sell some. So,
absolutely. So, there's a story. And I remember you said off camera, each doll has a story. Yes. So, kind of the one you're holding, Miss Jubilee. Let's talk about Miss Jubilee and what's her story.
So, Jubilee was actually the name that I wanted to name my daughter, but we changed our mind. And Jubilee is just my travel doll. So she is the doll that never gets adopted out. She travels with us. We do a lot of fun skits with her and little, things with her. So she is my forever doll. She was super fun to create. This hair took forever. And these are micro braids, and they are a full skein. So her head is very heavy. She's a heavy doll. She stands about, I think I measured her at 23 inches.
Can I hold her?
So she's big. Yeah. So
she does have some weight to her.
Yeah, compared to my other dolls, she's pretty heavy because of her head. Her head is very heavy because of the hair.
Pretty nice.
Thank you.
But I could definitely feel so it's the hair that's giving the extra weight.
The hair is what's giving her the extra weight. They're all yarn, so they're not necessarily heavy, and they're filled with polyester fiber fill, which is pretty much what's in your pillow, the cotton. Yeah. And they're not that heavy, but she's a heavy one because of her hair.
And you decided to make all of your dolls of color. They
Absolutely.
Are brown, different shades of brown, just like how we are all different shades of brown.
Exactly. So sometimes I have my opening, I'll say I make light brown dolls, dark brown dolls, and every shade in between, even light brown dolls. So, that's a little spiel that I usually say, but that came into fruition maybe about 4 years ago, and I said, you know what? It already started making dolls of all shades of brown. Those were my customers. But believe it or not, my first few customers were not black. They were Caucasian.
Yes. Really? And they wanted black dolls?
They wanted black dolls. They were collectors. They wanted black dolls, or they wanted dolls. I have one woman that's in Oregon. She wanted 6 dolls of all of her grandchildren, and they were Caucasian, but then she was like, oh, I collect dolls too, so I want one for me. I want a brown doll, and I want her with Afro puffs. And then, I decided.
She's out here designing that. That's great.
She told me exactly what she wanted, and thus I said, you know what? It's time to start to learn a little more yarn manipulation, because I believe in perfecting your craft.
Absolutely.
So I said, let's start making dolls with hairstyles of men and women of color.
Yeah.
So I started with the afros, the Afro puffs, braids, twists, and I have a gorgeous doll. She's not with me because someone actually purchased her. I did it with yarn, finger waves. So I enjoy doing that, manipulating the yarn and making it look like our hair.
So how long would it take on average to actually make one of these? Like when you sit down to do it, so kind of walk us through the process. How does it even get started? Is it a sketch process first and then?
Good question. I don't sketch. I know a lot of people do that. I do not sketch. Believe it or not, it starts off with the customer. You can fill out the form and tell me exactly what you're looking for. However, there are some people who don't know what they want. I've had a woman that says, my sister's in the Navy and she's a Zumba instructor. She knew what skin tone, she knew the hairstyle. That's it. She gave me free reign. And when you do that for an artist, that's like the best thing ever. So I decided to make her a Zumba instructor, but she had navy colors and she had a navy duffel bag. So, the process really starts off with a thought. And if they tell me, hey, this doll is for my sister, I will try to go into their sister's Facebook account and see what they love, see what their favorite colors are, if it's open, if it's available, and then I'll come up with a concept. I say, hey, I see that your sister has XYZ on her page. What about this? Because it's about me just not only nailing the aesthetics, but it's about developing the personality.
Yeah.
Because these are priceless plushes. They're going to outlive us all. I've had people who purchase these dolls and they have gone on and their family members kept them. So they're probably going to live longer, much longer than us. So it's important that I execute it with excellence.
That's great. My aunt was just actually showing me a bear that she had for 40 years.
Oh, wow.
And every season she puts him in different outfits.
I love it.
And I was just like, Ben turned 40 today. And I was like,
oh, happy birthday, Ben.
I was like, that's so funny. But yes, they become timeless and people will pass it on, and it does mean a lot to the community for sure. But we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll go into a little more information about all this. Stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. So, La-Shonda, why don't we talk a little bit about, we just talking about the process and how everything goes. How do you decide the pricing of something like this? Because it's all handmade. It's a custom piece.
I love that you asked that question, because some people, they just see it as, okay, she made that with yarn. In the beginning, I did not know my worth. And it took time, and I realized you need to pay yourself hourly. It takes about 10 or more hours to create a doll. If it's a simple design, I can whip up a doll in 10 hours. Do I sit there for 10 hours and do it? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I take a couple of days, and my process time is usually 6 to 8 weeks. But a lot of people get their dolls way before that, and they're happy to get that email that says you're tracking them, and they're like, wait a minute, I ordered like 3 weeks ago. So it's exciting for them. But back to the question, pretty much with the process, I forgot, what did you just say?
In terms of the process
Yes.
of getting the pricing from
The price.
you go online, yes, it's almost like they kind of design it,
Right.
but then there is a certain standard.
I'm charging you a creativity tax. No. Well, listen, it's
These are
materials.
custom.
It's materials. They're one of a kind. They're custom. There'll never be another. They come with certificates of authenticity. Sometimes they come with a prop. For example, if this doll, you ordered her and you said she plays baseball, she might come with a small baseball and a bat and something like that. That depends on, what I have on hand. I may create it, or I may have it already on hand. So, yes, it's my creativity. And like I said, it's definitely custom. And if someone doesn't know the design, I'm the designer, I'm the creator, and it is hard to put a price on it, but the starting price right now in 2020 is $200. That's the starting price, and depends on, listen, you create the price, you can add, you can take away, and it generates up for you. So yeah,
I know, and that's more than fair. Especially you're getting a one-of-a-kind piece.
Absolutely.
The reason why you would a company like Mattel or anything, because they've gotten so big, it's commercial at this point.
Yes.
So you're paying cheaper, but these one of a kind, you will not make. I'm sure no two dolls look exactly the same.
Absolutely not. No two dolls ever look the same. They're always all different. Even if I try to duplicate one, it's just impossible for me to do exactly. It's all about tension. If my tension is tense that particular day, it's probably going to be look a little smaller. If my tension is looser, it's going to look a little wider. Also, that's the whole point. Each and every one of us is different. You can be an identical twin, but there is something about you and your sibling that is different. And that is the message in the dolls. And you know what? They're not made by a machine. There is no crochet machine. There are knitting machines. Crochet machine does not exist.
And kind of educate us. What's the difference between crochet and knitting?
Yes.
Just for those who don't know.
Yes,
like
so
myself.
crochet, no problem. Crochet is with a hook. It's with a single hook. A lot of people assume, because knitting is much more popular, it's the two needles.
The little.
So they're needles, and you see people, going away with them. And crochet is one hook. And it's just about yarn manipulation and making loops. That's exactly what crochet is. I love crochet because you can do a lot of sculpt work with it, and that is how you pretty much design.
But it looks
the dolls.
tighter than the yarn, though. It looks
Well,
a little more together, I guess. There's not big
definitely.
spaces as with, I guess it's just different types of stitching people do.
There's different types of stitches, and there's different types of hooks. So these are created for people who do crochet. There may be phenomenal crocheters out there that make blankets, they make hats, but you may not know how to make a doll. With a doll, it requires you to use a smaller hook. So they do come in different sizes, and that's what makes the loop, the holes, the size that they are. So these are created between a size 3 hook and a size 3.5 hook. So they run in different sizes. And some people may say, honey, I'm not about that life. That's a small hook. Those that do know how to crochet, they're like, oh, no. They may not want to do it because it is a lot of work.
Yeah, and 10 hours, and that's on the lower end, and then accessorizing it.
Absolutely.
It's
Removable
pretty nice.
clothes. If someone wants removable clothes, 90% of my dolls, the outfit is the doll and the doll is the outfit. I came up with that concept because my daughter, as she got older, every time she wanted to go somewhere and take a doll, they were naked. She'd say, I'm ready to go, Mommy. I'm like, where's the doll's clothes? She'd take the doll's clothes off. So this was a cool idea that I came up with. These dolls, as you see on the table, their clothes are not removable.
Yes, and Jubilees are removable.
And yes, hers are removable, so you can take hers off.
Absolutely. And that's a great concept, So how do you feel about this journey so far and how the business has been coming along?
I'm just truly blessed. I mean, I didn't foresee this business being where it is now, my social media has definitely increased. Just from that, it gave birth to me just broadening into my community and teaching crochet in schools, teaching crochet in community centers.
Really?
Yeah, so it definitely has truly blessed me. Even online, I get to host classes online. Since COVID-19, obviously things have definitely slowed down because I can't do crochet in person. That is the best way, I think, because you can actually hold someone's hands and you can show them how to do it. But we've been doing a couple of classes online, virtual patterns, different things like that. But that works for people who already know how to crochet. And the ones that don't know how to crochet are the ones I'm trying to capture. The little ones with those idle hands, tell them to put that game down and try it. Try it. I mean, it's with everything. It's all about practice.
That's amazing. And I haven't seen a crochet doll before.
Yay! So you see your first one.
I'm seeing 4.
Yes.
And it's so unusual. So when your kids' friends come over, what's usually the reaction that they get when they know this is what you do?
Well, most children in my community know me. They call me the doll lady. Well, they say Miss Lala, and I'm the well, not this year, but I was the PTA president at my children's school. So a lot of the kids already know me, and they know me as the doll lady. And they'll say, "Oh, what are you working on?" They always want to know what I'm working on, especially the girls. They want to know how to crochet. Every now and then, a boy want to crochet, and I'll teach them. We start off with finger crochet because you can actually do it with your fingers, and then we move on to using a hook, and they love it. They learn really quick. These kids are resilient. They can pick up anything. If they can learn these video games, they definitely can learn crochet.
Absolutely. And I think that's great to bring that form, because a lot of people thought knitting, crochet, it was outdated, but definitely has resurged, and it's out and about. It's here in the forefront. So it's amazing. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. So, La-Shonda, not only are you the doll lady, but you're an author as well.
Yes.
Got this lovely book, Sunshine's Tangled Tresses. Why don't you tell us about this creation?
So Sunshine Tangled Tresses is actually based on a true story. It's a conversation I had with my daughter, and she told me she did not like her hair. She said, "Mommy, I don't like my hair. It's too fluffy." At the time, she couldn't say fluffy. And then I said, "Why? Mommy's hair is natural. Mommy hair is fluffy. Your hair is like my hair. What do you mean you don't like your hair? What am I doing wrong here?" And she says, "I want my hair like Elsa. I want it long, and I want it blonde, and I want it straight, and I want it like this." And I said, when you're older, if that's how you want to wear your hair, that's fine. But right now, you're not going to wear your hair like that." And then I showed her a lot of pictures of different girls with different hair, with braids and beads and all kinds of things. And I said, "You have beautiful hair. Don't think that because it's not straight and because it's not blonde, that it's not beautiful." And that's the message pretty much in the book. Sunshine does not want to get up out the bed. She doesn't want to go to church with the family. She's trying to hide out, and her mom's not having it. And thus gave birth to the conversation. And her mom has that conversation with her about her hair and her heritage.
And that's a very real conversation. Because especially older, and not that we're much older, but we didn't have brown dolls.
No ma'am.
So we didn't see a lot of that. And I had Barbies who were Barbies, and they were just the typical. But for me, that's just you think of a doll, and I had my baby alive, and but I never thought to think of having a brown doll. And now it's great now that it's more available, because you just take that as the norm. But sometimes with kids, kids don't always see color. So honestly, it just didn't, I never felt like, oh, it doesn't look like me. It didn't occur to me that, hey, she doesn't look like you. This is still a white doll. But sometimes children don't see that, which is the beauty of it. Until you get a little bit older, you really start to realize that. But there's a lot of underlying messages. There's things that are in there that infiltrate into us.
Absolutely,
for sure.
absolutely. Like, what is their perception of beauty? What are they seeing? You know, even more so recently, Disney princesses are now of color. You know, you have Tiana, and Moana. You know, they are starting to introduce that. But let's talk about our generation, and it's still even now. Last year, I did a little video, and I wanted to remind my audience of why I do what I do. I was in 3 stores. I videotaped it and I posted it. There were no black dolls. There was one doll head, like you can design the hair.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There were no black dolls in the store at all. And this was around Christmas time.
And that's the reality. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Mattel has started to make black dolls,
Right.
black Barbies, but it's still not the Barbie.
Right.
You know, it's like Barbie's friends.
Right.
She's not the star of the show.
No, never.
Not the star of the show. So it's great that this is available, and even for like little black boys to see characters. That it's just great. It's a different time, and things are changing, and it's changing for the better.
Yes.
To finally see that, but you would go into the stores, and you still see, you might not even make it to the shelves.
Right.
You still have to order online. You can't just go to the store and be readily available. Like, you have to be someone seeking out a colored doll.
Right. Absolutely. Just even, you know, you don't think about the hidden messages that you are pretty much telling your child. You're telling them that when they don't see images of themselves, are they not good? Are they not good enough? Or is that what you're saying? And is this what beauty is? Am I not pretty? You know, those are the questions. Me being surrounded by children, a lot of times I hear this and I say to myself, oh my gosh, gasp. This is what they're thinking. This is their perception. And what can we do to change that?
Absolutely. How do we get in contact with you? If people want to order a doll, if our Beyond Focus family want to order a doll, how do we get in contact with you?
Well, if you would like to order a doll, you can hit me up at any time at the Christian Crochet Addict.com. There you can navigate through all my social media, Instagram, Pinterest. It's a one-stop shop versus trying to click. You can just go to the Christian Crochet Addict.com and order your doll right there.
Get it right in time, and maybe start the holiday shopping early. Let's just do that.
Yes, please do, because I only have a few slots. Again, this is a handmade business.
That is true. I forgot
So we
that.
only have a few slots. I've actually already started my campaign for it, so I have about 3 slots available for holiday dolls, and that's it. Because I do
because
20
you have to allow
from August to December. I do 20 dolls, and that's it. That's my realistic number that I do for the end of the year for 2020.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's 3 slots left.
3 slots. Will you be the lucky 3?
One of the 3, and that's it, because it's a labor of your hands.
Absolutely.
You still have wife and mother duties.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to balance that. How is balancing that?
Well, I'm going to tell you. It's funny because my friends, I have a beautiful network with other black doll makers, and we were actually talking, FaceTiming each other, and they said, girl, you in this egg timer. I have an egg timer. So I try to time myself in certain things. Like if I'm like gabbing on the phone, I set my egg timer. I'm like, I got 20 minutes like to talk to you. And when it goes off, they're like, oh, she's going to hang up, you know, or it's same thing with cleaning. If I'm dedicated to a room, listen, I can't do everything to a T, but I love my planner and I try to plan accordingly. I have a great assistant. She helps me a lot, you know, keeping me, because I'll be all over the place if it wasn't for her. So a lot of that, I do a lot of that. Of course, my husband helps. So I just I'm guided by the planner. I tell people if you're not on the planner, it didn't count. So, you know, a lot of times it's just trying to being realistic with my time and just trying to stick to my planner pretty much. I mean, it works very well. I have certain times that I do certain things.
Mm-hmm. And you have no choice but to do that. So that's the only way, because you can't be doing dolls all day, and you have to.
Oh, no.
It's just making sure that everything is there. But
that's the perception, though. People think they're like, oh, like I play with yarn all day. I'm like, no, I'm a mom. I'm homeschooling now. You know what I'm saying? Homeschooling now. I'm doing all of this other stuff, and I've still got to clean my house. I still got to do regular duties and have fun. You know, have a little time with the kids. and then thus I dedicate time. I know how long it takes me to do certain things. I know I can do 2 arms in an hour. So I say to myself, okay, I got an hour to do something. Let me start this order. And everything is organized. They're in these huge Ziploc bags, everything that I need for that particular project.
So you build it like, okay, you do arms and then build the head and then just put it all together.
They are actually created in one piece. Normally, I do the head first. I don't include like all of the other details, but head first, torso, then the limbs, and then we whip it together.
So interesting. I just love it. This is great. Well, Shonda, thank you so much for joining us. It was amazing learning about your craft and all the great things that you do, and we'll love to have you back.
Thank you so much for having me, and I would love that.
Absolutely. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, you can send us an email at info@beyondfocusmedia.com. I'm your host, Lydia Patel. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back again next week. Same time, same place. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us.
Beyond Focus TV show wants and needs your feedback. Did we blunder? Please let us know so we can improve. Was the show helpful to you? Drop us a note so we can share the success with our staff members. Is there something you think we could do better? We welcome new ideas and new approaches to old ideas. Do you have a great suggestion? Let us know and we'll work on it. If you would like to share your comments anonymously, please send us an email at info@beyondfocusmedia.com. If you want to get in touch with the executive producer directly, send him an email at gene@beyondfocusmedia.com. We really look forward to hearing from you.